Alright, before we get on to the second one, it is important to include in the Exodus pattern the journey and reaching the promised land. That's all part of this. And so with this first pattern in the Book of Mormon, even though it refers to biblical patterns and the Egyptian pattern, the top of the Red Sea is the first pattern for Zion, because that's where he sets up camp. He made it. He's there. He got out of Jerusalem. And so that's the first Zion location, Bountiful. As yes, we've got Bountiful in two other positions as the Zion pattern. And also need to include that Lehi was filthy rich and was able to pack up his essential possessions, leaving his treasure behind, and take everything with him in his vehicles. And in my situation, I don't fit this pattern. I have, like I told you, have been preparing. I've got certain things, but if I have to walk it, I can't carry all the stuff that I had prepared. I will obviously leave stuff behind. I have no choice. I can't carry it. I have a dolly that I had purchased that can be used as a push cart. It's too short, but nonetheless, I can put stuff in the crates on the dolly. Not much, but more than what I can carry. And so, the record of the people, yes, that's pretty much it. And the records of the people are vital, as is demonstrated in these other patterns. And so, the next pattern that we get to, Nephi is now born. And, sure enough, Lehi says, we need records of the people, specifically the brass plates that contain a condensed collection of the record of the people, which just happens to coincide with the stick of Judah and the stick of Joseph being combined in one. Isn't that interesting? Exactly the same. And it's Egyptian language, and it's the stick of Joseph with the genealogy of Lehi through Joseph, as well as the stick of Judah with the kings down to Zedekiah. Interesting. It has the records of Zedekiah on there, huh? In that first year. Interesting. And then the prophets of Jeremiah as well, during that same time period. That's interesting. I hope it's a good thing they didn't plagiarize the book of Jeremiah, because there's a certain time frame of events that occurred. But again, this is 10 years later. Literal history 10 years later. So again, you have to throw out all of that. Focus on what is talked about with the parable story, having to do with the Exodus pattern. And so this is right before the big destruction. So it's not a leaving in 2017. It's now a leaving right before the destruction. And it's not 8 April. That's not the destruction date. This is before destruction. And I knew it was, and I was trying to figure out when it was, trying to figure out what my role in it is, which pattern would I be fitting into. And I've been going over it with you, expressing my frustration. But nonetheless, it is important and vital that despite all this chaos, we obtain a true, accurate record of the history of the human race. Because there are people right now trying to alter it already. In real time, they're denying reality. Truth isn't true, reality isn't real. And the church, likewise, are altering church history in real time. I've been doing those videos. I expose something about the church, and then, sure enough, the church then covers it up online. Dear God. And so, yes, they are freaked out and panicked by me, and that's why they needed me silenced and destroyed and dead. And it worked. They got me. I'm out. I'm being cast out. 9 righteous Mormons left. Utah will now be destroyed, according to the pattern. And here we are in that pattern now. So am I fitting this pattern? Let's find out. Who gets the records? Nephi gets the records. Nephi is now the Christ figure. Not Lehi. Lehi was the Christ figure in the first pattern. See, this is an Exodus pattern. There's a man like Moses. He's the Christ. And it has to do with the Mormons. And there are certain potential scenarios. And the Book of Mormon goes over a whole messer splits of them. And so here we have Nephi as the Christ. The Mormon Christ. And he is told by his father, go back and get the records of the people, specifically the fulfillment of Ezekiel 37. So, do I fit that pattern? Yes. I've done the videos. Ezekiel 37, Book of Mormon, the brass plates. Let's see if I can find them for you. There's been instances where YouTube has attacked me. Oh, now you don't show my channels. Oh, Pam and Tommy trailer. Yay. I'm gonna miss it. Would it be under Travis or TWG? Oh, yep. It does have some TWG stuff. LDS Last Days Exodus, Joseph Smith Jr., Brass Plates Translation. So, 45 minutes, done a year ago. Brass Plates and Book of Mormon to be translated before April 2020 General Conference. There's no thumbnail on this one. YouTube, did you delete this thumbnail? They were on a thumbnail deleting kick at one point in time. They thought it was funny. I'm pulling out the big guns to rescue Mormons from Mormonism. A brass plate should go forth unto all nations. Where is it, Mormons? What's going on? That's supposed to be a prophecy. Book of Mormon's literally true. Where is it? Lehi, brass plates found. LDS Prophet Nelson has TWG translate. Mormon Jesus attacks me with ad hominem over my brass plates. Hate-filled Mormon denies Joseph Smith is a translator. Here's translating Joseph Smith Jr.'s Book of Joseph by Travis Wayne Goodsell video version. That was one of the books I published. Thinking I might be able to come out of doing all this collection of the records of the people. So, yeah. Alrighty. So yes, I've fulfilled it. I've fit the pattern, and just, this is in retrospect that I just did for you. In 2017, I had a dream in which I was informed that I was going on a mission. And I waved to the missionaries, hey guys, I'm going on a mission. So it was not a mission. I had 3 suitcases. And so it began in 3 months from that dream. Sure enough, that's when I began collecting the history of the people, as well as doing videos to warn Mormons. And yes, because of my education, as I've told you before, I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. And in deciphering Paleo-Hebrew, I deciphered the Egyptian petroglyphs, the larger pictures contained in the facsimiles, for example. Because Egyptologists don't include those in their sign lists. And despite the dumbass who said, that's hieroglyphs too, yeah. Stay out of my field. If you don't know the subject matter, just don't humiliate yourself. Just stay away. No, I've got to fulfill prophecy and be the bad Mormon. And so yes, figuring that out, I then found that the Bible came from the Egyptian documents, of which the larger pictures that are not included in the sign lists are translated from. And knowing astronomy, I then put that connection together, and here we are in the last days. So my education that I was inspired to do has led me to fit this pattern so far. And so there's no need to slay Laban with a knife. I have no sword. So that's not going to happen. But the getting the plates, yeah, I don't have to steal them from some other author. I'm the one who wrote them. I know them. I made them. I translated them. Whatever you want to call it. And it's on Academia, showing you how to do it. It's a reverse thing. And so that pattern is obtained. So yeah, the church, yeah, they don't want nothing to do with new records. They've been taking scripture away from us. Again, that's what the Great and Abominable Church does. They've been fulfilling their part. And so then after obtaining the stick of Judah, stick of Joseph, combined into one called brass plates from Egyptian records, lo and behold, he's got to have a wife. Oops. don't fit that pattern either. And so, no wife, none of my Mormon brothers with their wives are coming with me either. I'm all by myself. All by myself. I am all by myself. So, yeah, there's no Mormons that are coming with me when I leave. And so thus no wives either. Kind of important. Can't perpetuate the human race after it's annihilated unless there's women. They're kind of essential to our eternal salvation. And so again, yeah, they have their transportation and they're able to carry stuff with them, the seed and all that. And so again, that also doesn't fit me. So brass plates, yes. Wife, no. Transportation, so far, no. As far as I know, I have to walk all by myself. So that pattern does not fit me. But this is right at the destruction time. They leave first, then destruction happens while on their journey in literal history time. And we get to another Exodus pattern, which we'll cover within this. It's the Mulekites who leave during destruction. And again, Mulek, king. Oh, the Christ. So that's another pattern that we'll be getting to. And so with this one, there's the Liahona that helps them, guide them in their journey. But clearly that's not going to be me, unless there's Mormons who watch my video and go, hey, I want to be part of that caravan. Caravan of migrant exoduses that Fox 13 or Fox News will call evil. Oh, those Mormons, they're leaving Utah. They're terrorists. They're carrying drugs and viruses, and we must stop them. The deep state won't stop them. Oh my God, they're fleeing their country. They're starving. They're tortured. They've been walking for miles. And you're turning people against them? Dear God, how evil. Anyway. And so yes, the Zion pattern for this Exodus, bountiful. And so in this one, it goes through a long journey, and they do walk, but they have transportation of camels. But weird. Anyway, so yeah, if I have a vehicle, I can take my food supply with me. So I don't understand. I mean, seed, yeah, okay, I get it. And food back then, they don't have preservation techniques for food. And so, yeah, it's a different scenario. So if people were to join me, then yes, I could bring food so that I would not have to forge or have a metal bow that goes rusty, failing to hunt for food, get beaten down by my brothers. You led us into the center of America, leaving Utah. They were good people. They were righteous. You've judged them. We would have had our riches in Utah. We would have had our lives back. Now, again, the Exodus of Moses, the Mormons complain, We had it good in Utah, Travis. You're taking us out here to die. The Egyptians were good people. You judged them harshly. You're a spiritual man or visionary man. So yeah, it doesn't quite fit the pattern. But yeah, we're coming to the pattern that does fit me. At least so far. There are 2 examples of it. But yeah, bountiful. Ta-da! We made it! Yay! So yes, you can guess what number 3 pattern is. The boat. And so that's not quite fitting. We don't need a boat unless the Missouri River just completely floods and separates America in half. That would be wild. That would mean Adam on Diamond and independence, maybe? At least Adam on Diamond would be toast. Oops. How were the nations of the world going to give up the throne to Jesus? And so yes, the Moses is referred to often by Nephi to his brothers. And there's a reason why. It's because it's an exodus that they're involved with, so Nephi refers to the exodus of the house of Israel with Moses. And Nephi thus is a pattern of Moses, as Nephi is a pattern for the last days. And so if I'm likening the scriptures, am I doing this part? The answer is not quite. The only thing that's the same, so far at least, because I haven't left yet, is the brass plates. I got the records. So, alrighty. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to be skipping breakfast unless you guys want to watch me eat. I have had people comment when I was eating that they were disgusted. It was rude to eat while I'm doing a video. I was hungry. Anyway, chapter 17 is number 3. And so, yes, it's Nephi building a ship. All of a sudden, Nephi is in charge of the family. In number 2, Lehi sends out his sons to do all the work. And Nephi ends up taking charge because the older son, the birthright blessing son, refuses to do anything. He's just unhappy and grumpy and blah, blah, blah. So Nephi usurps the birthright and blessing from the wicked Laman, the older brother. And so, yes, that does fit a pattern of who the Christ is, that he usurps from the great and abominable church, false Christ. But we're focusing primarily on the Exodus, though that does have to do with it, that the Christ of Mormons is not the president of the church. He's the great and abominable president of the great and abominable church. And so it's a Mormon that Mormons are supposed to be looking for, who has no authority, but other than from God who gave it to him. And so they should be looking for a true prophet, a true seer, a true revelator, and a true translator. Not somebody who claims the title and has nothing to show for it. And despite not even claiming translator, makes attempts at translation and botches it big time. With chief cornerstone of the cornerstone, with no capstone, and let God prevail. Holy crap. So, yeah, he's supposed to warn us of the latter days, and reveal to us the signs in the heavens, and warn us of the abomination of desolation, and protect Mormons, rather than saying, hey, church is open, go to church, it'll be a super spreader of the the abomination of desolation. Yay! You're all gonna die because you're suckers and losers. I can't believe you guys went to church yesterday despite all my attempts to try to keep you out of church, to save your lives, and you would not. Alrighty. So, we came to the land which was called Bountiful. Was it called Bountiful, or did you call it Bountiful? Say they were 8 years in the wilderness. So Nephi was 10, he's now 18. Literally true. Babylon has long since destroyed Jerusalem, taking them all captive. That was in the first year after they left. Or it was right before, which, yeah, he could, well, yeah, if he was 10, it would have been that same year. And so this is 8 years after the destruction of Jerusalem. As I did that video as part of the Signs in the Heavens for December 17th, wasn't it? And nothing to show for it. Because the first attack and the second attack are reverse patterns with the reverse patterns, and the tetrad that I need to give you also has the reverse patterns of the solar eclipses mixed in with the lunar eclipses. And so this is real. I'm realizing now I should have considered this, whereas at first I didn't, because of the partial eclipse that disqualifies it as a tetrad. But here we are, nonetheless. I have mended my ways and gave you the corrected information. And we'll give you the fuller information eventually. It won't be today, apparently. I have to go grocery shopping, because the longer I wait, the more food I will need to buy, and the heavier it will be to carry. So, if this video ends up being 3 hours, then yeah, I can load it onto TWG, and it should be finished uploading, at least, by the time I get back. And then I can trust YouTube employees to back off and let it process. You guys know you're evil, and yet you still do evil. Why do you desire to be evil? Do you not understand that you purposely are leading to your destruction? You are causing your destruction. Alma chapter 3. People cause their cursings. If you are wickedness, the consequences are your curse, your destruction, whatever it ends up being. You have to be good if you want good things to follow for you. People just don't believe it. And so they keep doing it, they keep getting drunk, and then they are disappointed that they have hangovers and barf up along. And wake up in places where they don't know, with missing clothes and such, and then just, oh, I better do that again, that was awesome. You're going to be dead next time. Cut it out. No, my truth. You can't judge me. Dumbass. Anyway, so they're there in Bountiful, and they happily live happily ever after. And so then we get to the next one. And so, yeah, verse 7. And it came to pass, after I, Nephi, had been in the land of Bountiful for the space of many days, the voice of the Lord came unto me, not Lehi. Huh. Saying, arise, Exodus time. Monsoon season's coming up. You're going to be destroyed if you stay. Because of literal history, right? It's that little place in Saudi Arabia where the monsoons help make it bountiful. And so, arise, get thee into the mountain. The top of the mountain. Oh, Moses, huh? Yep. And so, at the top of the mountain, he is told, Exodus, just like Moses. See the pattern? And so even though it's a ship, oh, like Noah? Yeah, exactly like Noah. A type and shadow of the latter days that Matthew tells us is a parable of, not a literal history. And so yeah, it's transportation to go to the promised land. And the brothers say, oh, no, we're fine. Everything, all is well in Zion. We don't need to go. You don't know how to leave anyway and build your own transportation. Yeah, well, I'd sort of need tools and the materials in order to build my own transportation, because if I did, I would have the money to just buy a car anyway. So that just, nope, I don't fit this pattern. Right from the beginning. And so then there's the food issues. You know, they got to figure out a way to preserve food. And so the pattern doesn't fit here for me. Whether it fits for you, because if you're paying attention, there's numerous patterns for the Exodus. There are numerous Mormons. There will be Mormons who have already been cast out. Whether they are inspired to go to the right Zion. My mom's brother and his wife purposely moved to Missouri, as they joke, to be there in advance for the latter days. Many Mormons who are there in Missouri believe, yeah, we're here, we're all ready to go. They're not listening to Nelson, who says, nope, this is not the church of Joseph Smith. And Joseph Smith even told us in 19 July 1840, that's not it either. He says, many of you think that Zion is there in Missouri. No, it's not. You're wrong. So, yes, that's where this video comes in. 8 April, the bountiful of the latter days. The true location that everybody knew of. Not just the date and the hour, day and the hour, but also they knew the location of Zion of the latter days. And so, yeah, Mormons, during that scattering, when we get to the Mulekites, they were just one segment of people that left, and they just happened to make it to what became close to Zion. That could be your Missourians, who think, oh, okay, Utah's destroyed, this is the latter days, this is the Exodus that was prophesied by Joseph, we're going to Missouri, kids, yay! And so they go to Missouri. And so who meets them? Well, we'll get to the pattern when we get to the pattern. We're on the ship. But yeah, there's going to be lots of different scenarios because there's lots of different Mormons who are going to be scattered at this destruction. Those who survive. We're already in the abomination of desolation. We're now expecting the destruction to come. And here's the exoduses. So which exodus pattern are you, Mormons? And you're like, I never even knew this before. This is all foreign. I'm not sure I want to believe. I'm not feeling good about this, Travis. Oh, you feel good about going to church, getting sick, getting hospitalized, and dying, do you? So anyway, the ship. So yeah, he builds the ship, proves to his brothers, hey, I did it. I proved to Mormons, I made the brass plates, translated them. Gift and power of God. Not even, I don't have, it's early in the morning, I put them, my rocks. I've shown you my rocks, the pink and blue rocks. So, yeah. In case you missed those videos, because that was way back when I introduced them, it was my home teachers, back when we had home teachers, who came over, and they had taken a cruise vacation out in the Pacific, and it was either their stop in China or Australia, where they got the rocks and gave them to me as a gift. They were thinking it was a joke gift. I loved it. I selected a pink and a blue one. That became my Urim and Thummim. And where are they now? They're most likely dead from the great abominable. Because he normally would be walking, and he was walking with his wife, and nope, gone. Haven't seen him at least a year. And they always, every Christmas, would come over and give the one plant that's poisonous. Not this year. Nope, not this year. Not even to Russ or to the other Mormon in the building. And so, yeah, something happened. They're completely severed ties, whether it's because they're dead or who knows what. But yeah, and could have been trapped on a cruise ship that got infected, because that's what they were planning in 2017. They were planning on going on cruise ships, and I said, not a good idea. But I was premature, so I'm sure they remember me saying that and want nothing more to do with me. Oh man, Travis was right. He was just early. So we can't show our faces, because he'll rub it in like he has been every time he was right for other things. Seriously, your pride would prevent you from being saved. Okay, whatever. And so yeah, this is teaching Mormons also about the true process of faith. He got a spiritual witness on the top of the mountain, and he just held on to it and told everybody, yeah, I got a spiritual witness, my truth is true, and you can't judge me. No, he built the boat. How hard of a doctrinal principle is this? That's deep doctrine, Travis. I only want to focus on the basics, like faith. And so here we go again with Moses, with the parting of the waters. Yep. And so likewise, this is reminiscent of the Exodus, of the parting of the waters, which we had last year. I told you, it's here. Here it is. Here's the path. Even in advance, I gave you the path. And then it happened on the news. I was like, what? What are they doing? Are they watching my videos and mocking me? But yep, sure enough, the waters of Utah parted, and Mormons missed it. And now it's winter time. And so, yeah, this is this pattern. And so getting to the promised land, again, is Zion, the Zion pattern. And the struggle, trying to get Mormons, Laman and Lemuel, to believe, and they just won't. They just are angry, they want to murder, they don't want to go. They want to stay behind and die. That's what this is all about. So yes, that part has been fulfilled. But I built the boat. Mormons chose not to go in that. And so this didn't get fulfilled. It's not this pattern for us. But Mormons across the sea, all Mormons, regardless of where you live, all know about the Exodus in the latter days. We all know about the return to Missouri, even though the church is trying to sabotage Mormons and say, nope, we're not going, it's here in Utah. And when Utah is destroyed, all Mormons will go, oh crap, it must be the time to go to Missouri. No, it's not time to go to Missouri. And maybe that's what will happen. All Mormons will be scattered with the destruction. They go to Missouri, and then I will finally walk there with my cart and meet them there. Guys, it's not here. Southern Illinois. We gotta keep going. Can anybody give me a ride? I'm kind of tired. I hope not. God, I hope not. Why are Mormons so stubborn? But yeah, Mormons from around the world are watching and waiting. They know there's an eventual gathering. And so for them, yeah, it may be by ship. So that could be their pattern, where they, the leader of their group, would be the Christ figure, symbolically, leading their people or just them to America. And so, yes, there's one particular viewer. How you doing? Have you done more videos on your channel? I haven't been notified. And so, yeah, there's more children born. Jacob the usurper and Joseph the usurper. So again, you see that pattern likewise. Joseph usurped it from Reuben. Reuben's the firstborn through Leah, but because Jacob loved Rachel, Joseph was the official usurper of the birthright blessing from Reuben. Oh, yeah. And so in the promised land, again, we have a record-making thing. Nephi makes plates of ore and records of the history of his people. This is once they arrive in the bountiful of America. And then this is where we learn about 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem. No. I've gone over with you what that meant. The Mormons shall be despised and scattered, and they shall return, because they get scattered from Utah, but will then be gathered to Zarahemla is Missouri, Mormons. Not the right place, even though it is as understood in the particular pattern. So, It's also Utah. Alrighty. So I think that's that for this. This was number 3, right? I created a file, and so I label the video and then transfer it over to the file. So I probably should have a page out to cover this. Alrighty, and I should shower and shave too. So there may be a pause between video segments. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll have to go grocery shopping in between one of those pauses. Alrighty. But yeah, this is important stuff if you haven't caught on. We're in it. The Book of Mormon is true. Joseph Smith is true. Great and Abominable Church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because the Book of Mormon is true. Joseph Smith is true. It's coming. It's here. It's now. And it's coming. And as things come, I then go, oh, that's how it's done. But nobody else is giving you this information. It's me. And you don't care. You'd rather die following the false prophet. Follow the false prophet, follow the false prophet, follow the false prophet straight down to hell. Alright. And so, yeah, we're ready for the next one. Alright, pattern number 4. I got my Urim and Thummim props to show you. There you go. Isn't that special? Tender victuals of the Lord. Alright, the next pattern is 2 Nephi chapter 5. Is where it begins. Behold, it came to pass that I, Nephi, there's your Christ figure here, the Mormon Christ, that 103:16 Joseph Smith talks about. Another Exodus pattern, which is not in the Book of Mormon, the parable that Joseph Smith gives in section 101, starting in verse 43. Again, we have a prophets sabotaging the church, false prophets. They get lazy, sell out the church for 30 pieces of silver, or 20 if it's the story of Joseph in Egypt, by Judah rather than Judas, or Judy. And then they come as a thief in the night and destroy Utah. And the Mormons are scattered and destroyed. That's the event that we are concerned with this video. We're already in the abomination of desolation. That's here. That's the warning signal to us. And when you see it, it's time to flee. And pray that it's not in winter. Dear God! Wait until winter! Ugh. Oh, we like sheep to the slaughter. And so yes, Mormons at that moment will then be looking for an exodus. And in the parable, Joseph Smith says that the Christ will lead the surviving Mormons out to the promised land. So that's a different pattern, just to make sure you guys are aware of it. As the pattern in 103:16 is also another type of pattern. It's before the destruction, leading them out of bondage. Because once destruction happens, you're free. But now you're scattered, you have no home. You have to find a new place to live, and so thus an exodus to the promised land. And so here, Nephi is crying, is a little snowflake, about the angry brothers, the angry Mormons, who want him dead. Their anger did increase against me, insomuch that they did seek to take away my life. So does this pattern fit me? Yes. I keep begging and pleading with Mormons, don't be bloodthirsty. Stop it, be good. Nope. They have to be bad. And they seek to take away my life and have helped to the prophets in fulfilling that. I'm being cast out. And they still keep coming after me. They cannot wait until I'm gone. They have to get rid of me now. And so they say, our younger brother, and in this particular case, I'm not the prophet. I'm not a prophet of the church. And they say that. Who are you to tell us what to do? I've had those comments. You're not the president of the church. You're not the prophet. You're not a prophet. Why should we listen to you? We're not. Fulfilled. Ta-da! Yay! Mormons are wicked. Great. And so, yeah, they think I'm trying to rule over them and control their agency. God, you guys are so dumb. But nonetheless, that's what I've had to deal with all these years. And so, let's see, I do not write upon these plates all the words which they murmured against me, expletives deleted. But it sufficeth me to say that they did seek to take away my life. And here we go. And it came to pass that the Lord did warn me, just like Lehi, that I, Nephi, should depart from them and flee into the wilderness. So again, the same pattern with Lehi. He tells the Mormons, you guys are wicked, you're going to be destroyed, stop it, be good. Nope. They seek to murder him. And so likewise his brothers, the Mormons, seek to murder Nephi. And this Mormon pattern Christ that we have here. And so he then takes his family, so it doesn't fit me, oops, so close, and takes Zoram and his family, and Sam, his older brother, and his family, and Jacob and Joseph, and his sisters. He has sisters. Mormons, this is like sacred, secret, esoteric knowledge. Only certain Mormons know it. It's like a secret. They don't say it. But he has sisters. There it is, right there. Verse 6. 2 Nephi chapter 5. And all those who would go with him. And so, yeah, that's a lot of breeding to have others not included in the family. Wow, that's interesting. Of course, then you get the people who say, oh, well, they had converts along their travel. That may be true for the parable. But again, don't take this literally. Stop it. You're going to cause problems. Because it's not literal history. The Smiths got word of a plot to destroy America. And they are warning us of that plot. And here's the Exodus patterns that are potentially available for Mormons to fit into. All of you are Christ's, not just me. You guys went through the temple initiatories. You were washed to become a high priest and a high priestess. You were anointed to become Christ, king and a queen. This should not be foreign to you. You should not be clinging to, there's only Jesus, he's the only Christ, nobody else. I'm not a savior on Mount Zion. Nope, just Jesus. The idol god of Constantine that Joseph Smith in the first vision tells us is an abomination that maketh desolate. The idol god. So isn't it interesting, Nelson, at the beginning of it, the abomination of desolation raises up an idol and botches it. Oh, the chief cornerstone of the cornerstone. Oh my God! Evil is so dumb. Dark Helmet was wrong. Spaceballs. Alrighty. So what else have we got here? So yeah, according to the law of Moses, this is a short one. Journeyed in the wilderness for the space of many days. After we had journeyed for the space of many days, we did pitch our tents. And they called the place Nephi, which has bearing in the rest of the story. And so Nephi is now Zion. And they are the people of Zion. People of Nephi. And they keep the law of Moses. You see, this is also a problem. The church purposely released the General Handbook, the coveted, sacred, secret General Handbook for leaders only, to all Mormons for this purpose. It's the Great and Abominable Church. It's sexist, racist, bigoted, neglectful of the poor and the needy, the sick and the afflicted. But they released it. And when? At the beginning of the abomination of desolation. They know and are aware and are preparing. Just in case. Because they've been following a certain person's videos who also sued them twice. And so they know about the signs in the heavens of the Lord's wrath against them. Since Brigham Young, lunar eclipses, for religion, the left eye of Horus, Peter the seer. I did the chart, made the videos. They now know. And here we are in a tetrad. And I found Zechariah. Oh, 3 in 1 month, huh? Not 3 in a period of time from the 3rd to the 4th of the tetrad in 2015? In 2014-15? Now 3, huh? And here we are in the final tetrad for the latter days. The final lunar eclipses of the latter days. March 2025 is the next lunar eclipse, and that's after the latter days. Because everybody talked about the last day date. Everybody. And so, yes, they're keeping the statutes and judgments of the law of Moses. This is a situation where if you've actually read the law of Moses, it's got a lot of Babylonian influence in it. Babylon is the whore, the great and abominable church, comparable. And so this releasing of the General Handbook, you're going to have Mormons who will have this. They will be leaders as bishops or stake presidents or counselors or high counselors or elders quorum presidents. They will have access to this book. It may be available online, maybe. I'm not sure how that works. I'm pretty sure that once the source of the website is destroyed, the website itself also is destroyed. It's not available for people to view anymore. I'm guessing. And so that's how you destroy sites on the internet, or stop them or take them down. So like if revenge porn gets out, you can stop it by stopping the source of posting, I guess. I may be wrong. I'm technologically illiterate, but yeah, I don't know. But there will be those who know just by being experienced as a leader in the church, and they will want to keep the church going. They will continue the idol worshiping practice of prayer, not the real prayer. I never got to that video. I said I should do it, but never got to it for the restoration of the Joseph Smith's Church of Christ channel. And nonetheless, but yeah, all of the beliefs of white supremacy and hatred, yeah, there will be those Mormons who survive who will ignorantly not make the connection, hey, this was the great and abominable church. That's why it was destroyed. We need to restore it. You will have Mormons who will want to restore the original church, to resurrect it from the dead. And even though they don't have authority to do so, even though God didn't tell them to do so, they're going to do it anyway. So those Mormons will also be around and surviving. That's what this is alluding to, because law of Moses is the old law. It's done away in Christ. So the latter days, yeah, Joseph Smith did away with the law of Moses. He's now the Christ. His law is the fulfillment. And Mormons did away with them. And so that needs to be done away with. But there will be Mormons who will keep it going. And they will have their exoduses. And they will think, oh, I guess we are supposed to go to Missouri after all. Okay, here we go. And we're taking the General Handbook with us to make sure that the church's doctrine and principles and laws and such will be maintained. But they won't have the temple texts. There may be a group of Gnostic Mormons, who will be working in the temple at the destruction time. And they will take with them all those papers that are laminated so that they can memorize them in the temple and not take them out. If you didn't know that that's what was done. Or you can refer to me. I have all of them. I got the records of the people, even of the great and abominable church. I'm not sure if the documents contain extra information than the scriptures and the revelations. But to copy and paste the documents is going to take me a long time, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it or not. But again, I have books that I have to go through before I have to be cast out to determine what has to be taken that I didn't get PDF'd. And so yes, Joe Samson's Written by the Finger of God is an essential book that must come with me, whether you understand it or not. Whether Joe understands it or not, as his YouTube videos were taken down. Was it my comment? Or was it my Wikipedia, or not Wikipedia, my website posting about Mormons who thought they were helping the church but actually helped to destroy it? But nonetheless, yeah, it's an excellent book. Is required reading for every Mormon. If you want to understand Jewish mysticism, you need that book. It's all over the Book of Mormon. He tells us. He shows us. He goes over Jewish mysticism for us. It's an excellent book. He did a great job. Well done. Nothing bad about him. It's just that he thinks that the church is true. And so when I point out, hey, great book, good job. Oops, uh-oh, what have I done? I've betrayed my church. So he takes down the videos. from YouTube. Anyway. And so that's something else to look for as I'm going over this section with you, this Exodus pattern with you. And the Lord was with us, we did prosper, and we did sow the seed and reap again in abundance, and raised flocks and herds. And there's the Temple of Solomon in here too, isn't there? Yep, there it is. We had brought the brass plates and the ball and compass, and so the church turned their magazine into the Liahona, and so there's truth scriptures, and then there's false, inaccurate stuff that you have to have faith to correctly identify the errors in it to get on the right track. But Sword of Laban, huh? No swords. Swords in the plowshares, but they made many swords. Why? Because the Mormons still want them dead. Surviving Mormons from Utah who cling to the church with the General Handbook, they're going to be angry with the Mormons who abandon and leave, because those Mormons are going to want to control other Mormons. They're going to assume authority they don't have to lead the Mormons. Follow me or die. That's what we're learning here, is that there will be Mormons who survive who will think that they have to control all Mormons still, and will hunt them down as they head east to go to Missouri incorrectly, because it's southern Illinois, but they don't know it because they're not watching my video about the Joseph Smith papers of 19 July 1840. And so, yes, you're going to have Mormons hunting down other Mormons to seek to control them. Hey guys, I've got the General Handbook of Instructions. I'm now the leader of the church. Follow me or die. Right here. My spiritual witness told me it is true. You can't judge me. Oh dear God. I think after this I'm going to get ready and then do my grocery shopping and then come back and keep working on these videos. But this is what we're looking at here, is that there's a group that come to the new Zion and build the temple, the Zion temple, the King of Peace. That's what Solomon means in Paleo-Hebrew. He's no longer the Prince of Peace, he's now the King of Peace, because there's his temple. He's now the king. His father is dead. He's now the king. He's no longer the Prince of Peace, he's now the King of Peace. And so this is what that is also referring to here, is that you will have Mormons who will go back to Missouri to build the temple. And it's the wrong place, wrong temple. But we're looking at a time frame of 2 years now, and so this is not as likely. You'll have Mormons settling in Missouri, obviously, thinking that they're supposed to go there, and they will inhabit the stake center right there at Temple Square, or the Temple Lot, which is owned by the other church, the Temple Lot Church. And then you'll have across the street from the stake center the Community of Christ Temple. They're not going to give up the land for you guys. You're going to have to go to war with them. It's not the right place, so stop your holy war. Don't do it. But again, you have all these branch offs of Mormons all with their different understandings of the latter days and the Exodus that will be forced upon them. They'll be compelled to believe, oh, this is an Exodus. Wow, okay. Well, that shattered my belief system. But yeah, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at Mormons who will seek to control the lives of other Mormons during this crisis because they have the temple texts, or they have the general handbook of instructions, having been leaders themselves. You know, I'm a stake president, follow me. I'm a bishop, follow me. Well, yeah, but a stake president is higher than a bishop. But yeah, I have the general handbook, you don't. You're going to get all these kinds of confusion and battles over who's got authority to lead the church and gather everybody together as one. And you missed the whole point. I've told you who he is out of all these videos. I even had you do a checklist to go through the scriptures so that you will know him when it's time, and you don't know him, and you're just going to do this. But yeah, the people who follow the true Christ are the ones who want him to be their leader. And that's comparable with section 45, is that once the temple is built and he puts his foot on the mount, the Temple Mount, 19 July 1840, then they will know that he is the true Christ. So that's another Exodus situation from section 45, is that Mormons will not realize that their true Christ, who was leading them in the Exodus, was their true Christ until, ta-da, here it is, we built it. Oh, wow, hey, wow, the fruits of this is good, it must be true. But that's not the doctrine we've been living under the previous church. This is a strange and foreign doctrine. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this. Good fruit? I have no idea what that is. I'm used to spoiled rotten fruit and calling it good. But yeah, they had to arm themselves against other Mormons. So yeah, you're cut off from the presence of the Lord. And they were cut off because the Lord is the true Mormon Christ, the mortal. And yeah, there's the skin of blackness, but again, it's not literal history. This is parable. And so the Laman and Lemuel are the bad guys. They seek to murder. They're bloodthirsty. They're criminals. Works of darkness, secret combinations. And that kind of a soul is dark. It is not light and intelligence. That is what's going on here with this. But Brigham Young, oh, well, the Book of Mormon says that I should be racist, so I'm going to be racist. And so, yeah, you've got Mormons who are not inspired and have to scrounge for scraps during their survival. They have no concept of how to build and all of that. So yes, I do have the building plans. Like I said, what do you think I've been doing this whole time? Who are you going to follow? Not me. You're not nothing. Nelson is a translator because he translated Cornerstone as the chief cornerstone and the cornerstone and ignored the capstone. And let God prevail. He's true translator. It's true, because I said it. You can't judge me. Okay. So that's that for that one. So yeah, I'm gonna shower and shave, catch the bus, get grocery shopping, come back, and we'll continue on.